Kurt Nelson also has been doing DNA tests on the blood, hair, and tissue samples, and suspects there is an unknown substance or inhibitor present that is interfering with the DNA extraction. Nelson must first identify the inhibitor and then remove it from the sequence. The inhibitor has been identified. The galvanizing on the screws was mixed in with the animal DNA. Nelson can now nudge DNA from the purified samples.
The scientific evidence at this point is suggesting that there really is an animal there. I cut it out, I repurified it, and I amplified it again using the same primers. I got a very strong reaction when I did that. And the reason was that I had gotten rid of the inhibitory stuff by running it out that way. And I found that it was identical to human DNA, except it had one nucleotide polymorphism. That nucleotide that was different was a difference that is shared with chimpanzees. I got DNA that was primate DNA, and I knew that I might be looking at the DNA of a Sasquatch.
The DNA says primate, but not quite human, and not quite non-human primate. One of the base pairs is deviated.
The thing we have to do now is we have to look at more DNA. We have to sequence more of it. We have to design primers to amplify different regions of the DNA so that we can get sequence across the mitochondrial genome and determine whether or not it is just human DNA, which seems unlikely that something that a human would step on that board like that.
Great apes share nearly identical DNA with man, except for a 35 base pair deviation. The Snellgrove DNA sample has only one deviation. According to Nelson, there is only a 1 in 5,000 chance this is human DNA.
What we're looking at is the blood so far. So if we can find that the same sequence exists in the tissue and in the hair, that indicates that an animal that the animal that bled there and left the tissue there and left the hair there was all the same animal and produced that sequence. That's important to tie it all together. And that could take a year.
It appears science may support the probability of a primate that is not quite human and not quite ape. But just what left the bloody footprint at that Snellgrove Lake cabin?
Is it possible that the creature of Snellgrove Lake is a real animal? You add it all up, and it's very interesting.
In the end,